After my sister got married and moved to another city, our house felt very quiet. It was just me and my mom now. For a long time, I had been grateful to my mom for raising me all by herself after Dad passed away. She had done a lot for me, and I knew that. But recently, she started acting in ways that made me very frustrated and even a little sad. Even though I worked hard and gave her money to help out, she suddenly began to push me away. It felt strange and hurtful. To make things worse, I started to feel that my sister Lysandra and her husband Kael had something to do with it. That made me angry. I even wanted them to regret what they were doing. My name is Thessaly, and I am 27 years old. I have lived my whole life in this city, and since Dad passed away, I have been trying my best to make life normal for Mom and me. My older sister, Lysandra, is 9 years older than me. She had always been confident and sometimes bossy, even when we were kids. After she got married, she moved out, and now it was just me and Mom. At first, I thought living with her would be okay. But soon I realized that it was not going to be easy. Mom had always been a little lazy, but now that she didn't have to work part-time anymore, she started staying home all the time. She began to treat me like I was her personal helper. Every single day, she would ask me the same things. Sam, is dinner ready yet? Or, I need some extra cash this month. Send me $300. Sometimes she wanted me to do chores for her too, like cleaning her room or ironing her clothes. The list never seemed to end. People around me often told me, if you don't like it, just move out. And I thought about it many times. I thought about renting a small apartment by myself or moving closer to work. But then I thought about Mom. After Dad passed away, she had no one else. Lysandra and Kael had made it clear that they were not going to take her in. And even though I was frustrated and tired sometimes, I couldn't just abandon her. She was my mother and she had raised me. Still, there were limits to what I could take. One day, I finally reached that limit. I came home from work, tired and hungry. I opened my wallet and realized some money was missing. I had been saving it for something important, and suddenly I felt my anger bubble up. Mom, did you take money from my wallet again? I shouted. Her face changed immediately. What a terrible thing to say, she huffed, folding her arms. I just needed some clothes, so I borrowed it for a while. Borrowed? I shouted back. You never give it back. Can you at least ask before taking my money? Mom frowned, her face twisting in irritation. Do you even know who you should be thanking for your life? I raised you. You're so ungrateful. I took a deep breath and tried to explain. I know I owe you, Mom, but that doesn't mean you can just take my money without asking. I work hard now, and it's only fair that I help you a little, but don't act like this is nothing. This was how every argument went. Every time I tried to set boundaries, Mom would say, I raised you. You owe me. I never knew what to say after that. I wanted to be kind and patient, but inside me I was feeling frustrated and angry. The truth was, I earned a decent salary at work. Even if I gave Mom a lot of money every month, it would not make me poor. But somehow, I felt I couldn't let her keep taking advantage of me forever. Then one day, something completely unexpected happened. I came home from work feeling tired after a long day, and when I opened the door, I saw Lysandra and Kael sitting in my living room. I hadn't seen them since Dad's funeral, and we hadn't talked in months. Hey Thessaly, it's been a while, Lysandra said, smiling in a way that felt mean. You still look grumpy, huh? Her words immediately reminded me of our childhood. She had always been mean to me in small ways, teasing me and acting like she was better than me. Marriage hadn't changed her at all. Why are you here? I asked, crossing my arms. Lysandra shrugged. Do I need a reason to visit Mom? I clenched my jaw. This isn't our old family home anymore. Dad's house was sold years ago. I'm the one paying rent here. Lysandra waved her hand like I didn't matter. Don't be so serious. We're finally all together again as a family. Before I could respond, Kael added, Honestly, Sam, with that attitude, you'll never get married. I bit my tongue. This was exactly why I had kept my distance from them. Their words made me feel small and frustrated. Then Mom spoke in a sweet but firm voice. Thessaly, maybe it's time you move out. I froze. What? I asked. She smiled, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Lysandra and Kael want me to live with them for a while. They suggested it. My chest tightened. So you want me to move out so you can live with them? Mom didn't seem to feel guilty at all. You'll be fine on your own. You're independent now. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the situation was so ridiculous. All right, I said, grabbing my coat. You want me out? Fine. But remember, I pay all the rent and bills. When I move out, you'll be on your own. Their faces fell. Mom stammered, "Wait, what?" I shrugged. "Guess you'll have to find somewhere else to live. Maybe Lysandra and Kael can take you in after all." Lysandra opened her mouth to say something but closed it. Kael looked away, staring at the floor. I walked out that night, leaving them all stunned. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. Did I feel guilty? Not at all. I could see clearly that Lysandra and Kael were insensitive and mean. After that, I went to my room and ate dinner alone. Mom seemed happy talking to Lysandra. She smiled a lot, laughed, and chatted like nothing had happened. It seemed like they sometimes whispered about me when they thought I wasn't listening. For some reason, Lysandra and Kael started coming to my apartment more often. They acted too comfortable, as if it was their home. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. "Hey Lysandra, this is my place," I said firmly. "What about it?" she replied, looking annoyed. "I'm here because I care about Mom and I want to see her." "You haven't reached out to us since Dad's funeral," I said. "That's none of your business," she snapped. Then Kael said, "I'm hungry. Make something quick." Even Mom joined in. "You just got back from work, right? Go get it, lazy girl." Kael, who had always avoided Mom, suddenly seemed very happy with her. Lysandra acted like she was the boss. "I'm the eldest sister and Kael is my husband, so we should be in charge." It was obvious they were planning something. Several days passed. Then the plan became clear. "Thessaly, I've reached my limit living with you. I'm leaving," Mom announced suddenly. I was confused. "What do you mean?" "I can't live with someone slow, lazy, and unattractive like you anymore. I'm moving in with Lysandra and Kael," she explained. I was shocked. The couple who always said they didn't want Mom now wanted her to live with them. "What is happening?" I asked. Lysandra and Kael arrived just then. "What's going on?" Lysandra asked, looking down at me. "You never reached out to us before. Now you live with Mom? Isn't it natural for the oldest daughter to live with her mother?" Kael agreed with a smile. "You're so annoying. Mom decided to live with us. We don't need you anymore." "Just leave," Lysandra said. "Wait. Leave." I felt disgusted with my sister. But I also realized they were up to something. Even though Mom could be sharp-tongued, she was still my only parent. I didn't want to get into trouble later, so I confronted her. "Mom, isn't it obvious something's going on? Lysandra and Kael never contacted us before." Before I could finish, Mom cut me off. "If anyone is acting strange, it's you." "Ah, Mom, what do you mean?" "Those who just take from their parents should leave," she said suddenly. The moment she said that, all the love I had for her vanished. After everything I had done for her, she said that? I decided I couldn't let this go. They were about to enjoy their moment of victory, but soon they would feel what it's like to be challenged. I started planning my revenge. "Then I'll leave right now," I declared firmly, looking straight at my sister, her husband, and my mom. They all smirked. "Thessaly, you're finally leaving," Lysandra said. "Mom, you must be happy now," I added. "I truly am," my mom said, beaming. "Now I can live with Lysandra and Kael. I'm on top of the world." "Thank you, Lysandra," Kael added with a grin. "Oh, thank you too, Kael," my mom chimed in happily. The three of them continued chatting, patting each other on the back as if they had won a great victory. I had to struggle not to laugh, but I knew I couldn't give them any chance to think they had the upper hand. I felt a strange mixture of freedom and anger. I was free from the constant demands and unfair treatment at home, but I also knew I needed to be careful. Lysandra, Kael, and even Mom were capable of doing mean things, and I had to stay alert. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I could finally live my life without being treated like a servant. I could focus on myself, my work, and my own happiness. Even though I was leaving, I made one thing clear in my mind. They would never take advantage of me again. I would be careful with my money, my home, and my feelings. No one would make me feel small or powerless anymore. And deep down, I felt a little proud of myself. Even though the situation with Mom, Lysandra, and Kael was complicated and unfair, I had stood up for myself. I had set boundaries. I had said no when it mattered. And most importantly, I had chosen freedom. That night, as I packed my things and prepared to leave the apartment that I had worked so hard to pay for, I realized something very important. Life was unpredictable, and people could be unfair, even people you loved. But what mattered most was standing up for yourself and not letting anyone take away your peace. I was going to be okay. I knew I could live on my own. I could make new rules for my life, ones that made me happy and safe. As I walked out the door, I looked back one last time. Mom, Lysandra, and Kael were inside, laughing and congratulating each other as if they had won a prize. I shook my head and smiled to myself. Let them think they won. I knew something they didn't. They hadn't won anything that truly mattered. I had my independence, my home, and my life, and no one could take that from me. And so, I stepped out into the night, carrying my bag and my determination. I was ready to start a new chapter in my life, one where I could be strong, happy, and free. I wasn't angry anymore. I was ready. To get my revenge just right, I knew I had to be very careful and stay quiet for a while. From that day on, Lysandra and Kael were always in my apartment. It was like I didn't even exist. Sometimes I would sit in the kitchen or my room, and they wouldn't even notice me. But that was okay. In fact, it was good for me because it gave me time to prepare to move out. I wasn't bothered at all. I was calm, even though they were laughing, talking, and acting like they owned everything. A week later, the big day came, moving day. I packed the last of my things and walked into the living room. That's when Lysandra smirked at me. Today is the day we part ways, Thessaly. We will take care of Mom from now on, so you don't have to worry anymore. Thank you, I said calmly. I'm leaving Mom in your hands. Okay. Something in my calm voice seemed to make Lysandra a little uneasy. She blinked, and for a moment, I thought she didn't know what to say. Then my mother walked up to me with a smug smile. I hope you get married soon, Thessaly. It would be sad to stay single forever. The world would call someone like you a loser, she said, wagging a finger as if lecturing me. Kael chuckled at her words, and Lysandra covered her mouth to hide a laugh. I stayed calm just like before and said, That's true. From now on, I am going to live for myself. I don't have to take care of you anymore, right? My mother's face twisted with anger. Just stop talking and leave. I never asked you to look after me. I shrugged. I didn't need her approval. I was leaving anyway. Just then, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Oh, it seems like they're here, I said, turning toward the door. Outside were the movers I had called earlier. As they began carrying my boxes inside, I turned and gave them more instructions. Oh, and please move all the appliances and furniture in these rooms too, I said calmly. All three of them froze. Wait, what? They said in shock. They couldn't believe what I just said. The TV, the fridge, the microwave, the sofa, the dining table, and even the bed. I wanted everything moved out. I continued giving the movers clear instructions without hesitation. My mother finally yelled, What are you thinking? Stop this immediately. I stayed calm and turned to her. What do you mean? Am I doing something wrong? Taking all the furniture and appliances. Are you crazy? Kael shouted, his face turning as red as a tomato. How do you expect us to live without anything? You can't just take everything. Leave some things here. My mother and Lysandra were shouting and screaming, but I just took a deep breath and smirked. It was time to explain the truth to them. Are you getting the wrong idea? I asked. Everything in this apartment, including the apartment itself, all the appliances and furniture belongs to me. Right? This is Mom's place, isn't it? Don't mess with me. All of this furniture and these appliances were bought using Dad's inheritance, weren't they? Kael snapped. I had expected it. He had misunderstood everything, just as I thought. He believed that Mom had been paying for the apartment and that she received a large inheritance from Dad. That must be why they moved in so quickly. Lysandra, aren't you understanding something is wrong? I asked my sister. I bought everything here. I've been giving Mom $2,200 every month. The things you think you lost, they're all mine. You just wanted to live with Mom because you thought there was an inheritance from Dad, didn't you? Kael scoffed and said, Mom used up all of Dad's inheritance a long time ago. You're imagining things. I watched as Lysandra's face changed. Her confident, smug expression slowly disappeared. She looked at Mom, who was now looking down with a pale face, clearly uncomfortable. Mom, please explain, I said firmly. You said you bought all the appliances here. Well, I was just trying to look good, Mom mumbled. What do you mean by that? Lysandra snapped. We only moved in because we thought there was an inheritance from Dad. If there's no inheritance, why live here? Mom stammered. But didn't you say you'd take care of me because you're the eldest daughter? Lysandra folded her arms and said, I was just trying to be nice. I lied so we could live together. Hearing that, I could see how furious Lysandra became. She realized she had been caught. Mom also looked shocked and scared, realizing that the kindness she had been shown by her own daughter and son-in-law had been completely fake. They had only been pretending to care because they thought there was money. It was frustrating to see such a hopeless family. Mom should have suspected something when Lysandra and Kael, who hadn't talked to her for years, suddenly wanted to live together. If Lysandra had paid attention, she would have known that Dad's inheritance was gone long ago. I watched them crumble in front of me, feeling a little satisfaction at the truth finally coming out. Then Kael suddenly had a bright idea. "I've got it," he said excitedly. "It would be great if Thessaly could live with us again." Mom and Lysandra immediately perked up. "Yes, Thessaly. You should live with us after all." Mom pleaded. "Yes, Thessaly. I really do need you," Lysandra added, smiling brightly, trying to hide her earlier anger. Seeing their desperate change in attitude, I shook my head and laughed quietly. "What are you even saying? Don't make me laugh. There is no way I'm living with trash like you. I've decided to live only for myself from now on. Whatever happens to you, I couldn't care less. Go ruin your lives together." All three of them, Mom, Lysandra, and Kael, looked completely drained. They slumped into chairs, staring blankly ahead, looking defeated. "Goodbye," I said calmly. "Do your best as a family." And then I closed the front door. In just 2 weeks, the lease for the apartment would end. Since the apartment was under my name, they would probably be forced to leave. But that was none of my business anymore. About a week after I moved, I received a call from Mom. "Thessaly, please. I can't live like this. Come back," she begged. "No way. Why don't you have that couple take care of you?" I said firmly. "Actually, it seems they quit their jobs and moved here because they thought I still had Dad's inheritance. They really are terrible people, aren't they?" I scoffed. "I don't even feel like helping anymore. I'm not interested in a family that only thinks about money." "But Thessaly, all I have is you," Mom said, her voice trembling. "Mom, I'm busy. Can I hang up now? Please let them take care of you," I said. And then I ended the call and blocked her number. I no longer felt the need to help Mom, especially not now. Rumor had it that Mom, Lysandra, and Kael got evicted from the apartment after that incident. They spent all of Lysandra's remaining savings to move into a very small, shabby apartment. Mom still didn't work, and she argued with Kael almost every day. Lysandra was the only one working, from early morning until late at night, just to make sure they had enough money to eat and live. As for me, after keeping my distance from them, I was able to save more money and use it for the things I wanted. After all the sacrifices I had made in the past, I was finally free to live a life that made me happy. I finally walked away from a life where I was used, manipulated, and taken for granted. It wasn't easy, and I won't pretend that I didn't hesitate sometimes. I did. I wondered if I was being too harsh, or if I should forgive them. But deep down, I knew that choosing myself was the best decision I could ever make. I could finally live my own life, without worrying about selfish people who only cared about money. I could wake up in the morning and do whatever I wanted. I could buy things I liked, travel if I wanted, and save my money for my future. For the first time in my life, I was in control. I wasn't going to be pushed around, used, or ignored anymore. I was free. I smiled as I thought about all the times I had been forced to care for people who didn't care about me. Those days were gone. Now I could finally focus on myself, my dreams, and my happiness. It felt amazing. I wasn't lonely because I had my own plans, my own money, and my own life. I could enjoy little things like reading a book in peace, having a snack whenever I wanted, and even decorating my new place exactly how I liked. Yes, it wasn't easy to make this choice. But in the end, I knew it was the right choice. Finally, I was free from a life of being used, and I could live happily ever after.